Welcome back, everyone. Well, we did it again. Here we are in another empty theater.
But in a lovely space at the Hyde.
Well, that was a good one.
Yeah.
That was very nice that you said that. We have a motif going here. It seems that every time that we talk, we're in a theater, albeit before the performance, with this as the backdrop. We're at the Hyde Collection Museum in Glens Falls. And this is Lynn Gelber, Saratoga Chamber Players. And we're going to talk about a concert that just really caught my attention for Father's Day, which I think is June 16 this year.
Correct.
And in the usual Saratoga Chamber Players fashion, they move around. United Methodist Church, Skidmore College, even private homes sometimes, right, for some of the fundraisers.
Yes.
And for maybe 2 or 3 years, the Hyde Collection here. And the program features Haydn, Schubert, and Bartók. And there's a very interesting connection between the three of them that sort of relates to Father's Day.
Yes.
And that is?
Haydn is known as Papa Haydn. He is known as the father of the chamber, of the modern chamber music, and the modern symphony.
Wow.
And though his main direct descendant was his pupil, Beethoven, he also had a direct influence on Brahms, and Brahms on Schubert, and then Schubert and Brahms on Bartók.
Wow.
So this is a good homage to fathers and to the father of the symphony and the chamber music.
Well, I think you and Joe Levy did a pretty good job of carving that one out, right? You said something in passing that I want to go back on.
Well,
that
Jill's the one who does the programming, not me.
I have a feeling you have your thumb on the scale for this. But at any rate, she said in passing that one of Haydn's pupils was Beethoven. You can just see him saying, you need more melody in the beginning of the fifth. None of these repeating notes. Da 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 da. What's going on with that, right? I want to, let's kind of dip into each one. First, the setup, as usual with Saratoga, chamber players, small group musicians. Who are the musicians appearing on Sunday?
On Sunday, June 16th, is Jill Levy, who is our artistic director, Dory Na,
violinist,
violist Michael Roth, who is up here sometimes with the New York City Ballet Orchestra as well. Eric Bartlett, who is a cellist with the New York Philharmonic, and most of all and best of all is the wonderful pianist Ben Hochman.
Wow. Well, this is good. This is going to be something.
Couple of stars there.
I want to cycle back for a minute on Elliot Bartlett.
Eric Bartlett.
Eric.
Yeah.
That when we saw him, he was part of one of the series at Skidmore. And he was so engaging. He talked to the audience, and they went back and forth and talked amongst themselves on stage. What the Saratoga Chamber Players always seems to accomplish is this wonderful, intimate setting between the artist, the music, and the audience. And that engagement is something that really takes it over the top, doesn't it? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, and there's always a Meet the Musician reception afterwards, which will take place right next door to the auditorium here.
So why'd you pick the Hyde?
Because it has a wonderful, intimate space that's just right for this kind of chamber music.
The Bartók piece, those of you familiar with Bartók music, sometimes you just gotta say, okay, strap yourself in, here we go, right? But this is an early piece, right?
It is, and it's very sonorous, lots of wonderful melodies in it.
Oh, got it, okay. And in each one of the, let's go through them piece by piece if we can. The Haydn is a piano trio.
Right.
You'll know this.
And the piano really sings in that, and all of Ben's beautiful piano work will shine with Eric and Jill.
Now, I wasn't that familiar with Benjamin. He is a soloist, correct?
Yes.
All right. So his whole career is...
major prize winner, yeah.
Yeah, got it. Okay. All right. I got to catch up on that one. And the Schubert piece?
It's a duo for violin and piano, and that will be Ben and Jill.
And Jill. Well, that's fabulous.
So Ben is really shining in all of these pieces because the Bartók is a piano quintet.
Wow. A lot of hands-on?
Yeah.
You could say. Saratoga Chamber Players, 30-something years?
32,
Wow.
and
counting.
counting.
Now,
We've already got a program started up for next season.
Now, you can find out about tickets. What's the web address? SaratogaChamberPlayers.org?
That's
right?
correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Go to SaratogaChamberPlayers.org. There's actually a whole bunch of very interesting information about the history of the group and some of the concerts. And each year, this, if I'm doing the math
and the bios
correctly,
of all the musicians.
yeah. If I'm doing the math correctly, this is the last in this series. Almost the last.
Well,
the last public one. But you've got something that I want to talk about that's going on at Lake Ave School.
Yeah.
In Saratoga. But this is the last one of the series.
Right.
Right?
That's
okay.
correct.
Started in the fall.
And this is on June 16th, and 4 days later, there will be the culmination of a project that we've been doing with another of the cellists, Elliot Balin, who has been working with the students in music composition based on an adaptation of The Little Prince. And their music teacher, Megan O'Sullivan. And Elliot would ask the students for he would recite a couple of lines of the adaptation and ask the students what that felt like. And the students would hum a tune, and he would record it on his phone. And then the students would pipe up something like, well, this is hard work. Let's make this legato. And, their use of the terminology, their understanding was just mind-blowing.
You told me too, one of the other students said, this sounds a little sad to me. I think it should be in a minor key.
Yeah, that
now, you have
too.
to understand, Lake Ave School is an elementary school.
Right.
Our
So
daughter
we're
went
talking
to Lake Ave.
Second, third, fourth, fifth
That's
grade.
right. Isn't that something? And then he takes their melodic suggestions
Yes, and he
creates-
goes home and using their tunes creates the scores for them.
Wow.
And interwoven with what they will be playing on their basic instruments and singing will be work of Jill Levy and Elliot Balin, who has been the person working with them and doing the score, and Susan Rotholtz, the flutist. And they will be performing at Lake Ave in an all-school concert on the 19th of June. But this is going to be repeated in the summer at SPAC as part of Poetry in the Pines for Radial Arts. And so we're expecting up to 200 kids to be involved with this.
This is just wonderful.
Yeah.
So let's celebrate Father's Day. Let's, at the Hyde Collection, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, wonderful time for a performance like this. Saratoga Chamber Players.
And celebrate your fathers that way.
Yeah.
And
Me included.
4 of the 5 performers are men who should be celebrated
As fathers.
Yep.
This is great. Well, it's always wonderful to see you chat about music and talk about what you're doing. And by the way, just a quick plug about the Hyde Collection. I had mentioned earlier in the interview, my wife and I live here in Glens Falls, and we come over quite a bit just to see what's going on. They have a student exhibition upstairs. They've got this incredibly talented artist from Washington County. They're doing an exhibit.
Sloan.
That's right, doing an exhibit up there. And then, of course, they have this wonderful intimate theater, which is absolutely perfect for a group like the Saratoga Chamber Players. They need our support. Well, great to see you, Lynn, and I'll see you on Father's Day.
You bet.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. See this interview again. You can head to our website, looktvonline.com.